Peace, love, and light, family. I am Monty MP3 Proctor. This is the 360 Creative Podcast, a celebration of those who are multi-talented, multifaceted, and just transcending their space. Today, I have a man who is the definition of 360 creative. I mean, he is the person who can direct, he can write it, he can produce it, and then if there's nobody there, don't get it twisted, he will hop in front of the camera. And he's also a cinematographer, which he would actually be the first that I've had on the show. Wait, maybe not the first, but yeah, he's a cinematographer as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome David. How do I say your last name?
Aure.
Aure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, that's the first time I had to ask, man. So,
Yeah.
ladies and
That's,
gentlemen,
that's,
Dave.
so I didn't realize I didn't know how to say my last name until I was like probably 12, bro. So I get
Really?
it. Yeah. My well, first and foremost, um big ups to Monty, starting this podcast.
Thank you, brother.
I'm very grateful to be on this. And to the story of me not knowing my last name, my family, the Aures would call me a ray of sunshine because I'd be David Aure. That's what I would say. So that was, yeah. So I get it. It's a
Yeah,
hard twist.
man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got David Aure with us.
Yee.
Yeah, the studio audience and everything, man. It's yeah.
Appreciate
Yo,
you, man.
brother, how are you, man?
I am at this moment very blessed and thankful. And we have rekindled our friendship being here.
Yeah,
So I'm very excited. We have a lot of stuff coming up, so I'm pretty excited.
yeah.
How about you? How are you?
Oh man, I'm blessed to have you here, man. You have been somebody I wanted to have on the show, and actually, you are a huge contributor to this podcast even being a thing.
Thank you.
So David puts on this event called Tapped In, and he has got the second installment of it coming up. Can't wait. But yo, he does this cool thing where he puts all of these creative people in a room, and things just start to happen. It's networking, but it's not industry. It's very much like a barbecue. It's like a cookout. It's like a family party. And so with that, seeing that I was surrounded by creatives, and then even going through my Instagram and just seeing that I am literally surrounded by creatives that are constantly working and doing so many things, so many dope things, but not having their stories told. Yeah, I was like, I got to do something about that. And so that all started from on my 30th birthday being at Tapped In, bro.
Bro, that means a lot because that's like what is tapped into me about. And um to the ones that are listening or who would hear this, and hopefully you guys hear it in time, or if you hear it after, this coming Saturday is the second installment of Tapped In.
Mm-hmm.
And um why I created this event with my partner Casey.
Shout
Uh
out to Casey.
yeah, was because we've been through mixers before, and um I really feel there's a gap when you're trying to mix with people that have achieved a certain level, right? I think, and it's good to be honest about that. Like, for example, as me as a cinematographer, and I say this like to connect it in a dramatic way. Like, I can't hit up Justin Bieber and ask him, "Hey, can I film for you?" It's not, it won't resonate, right?
Right.
Um, so I guess like it's like building with your grassroots. So I've been in mixers where I didn't feel at home. I didn't feel like I had a voice. I hope that, this is just the second installment, and as we build, that I hope that me and Casey can remember that remembrance of that, and continue that vibe of that, um, to the basics type of group. I don't want to too far fetched from it. If I think we're just flexing too much, there's no point.
Right.
But if I feel like we're doing the mixer, and if we are feeling the same as the people that are visiting, that who want to collaborate, then I would want to continue it.
That's
I think,
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's exactly the reason why being there at this time of my life, that been earlier this year, and being surrounded by the people, because it was such an amazing group of people too. And those are chance happenings that you meet at the ground level. It felt like almost being, I imagine this what it must have been like at Motown or something. Yo, you have all of these people who are talented in their own right, but nobody yet knows who is going to be what yet. But you just feel the bubbling, you feel the excitement, you feel the passion of everybody in the room. We all know one thing, that we love to create,
yeah.
except for it, it was Chris's fiance, and she told me, she was like, "I don't create anything. I sell houses." I was like, "Okay, cool." Shout out to Chris
So
Vegas, bro.
yeah, the speaker Chris, love that man. Yeah, we have our supporters.
Yeah, yeah,
They,
but she made it clear. She made it very clear. She was like, "I don't." She said, "This is his world, and I'm just here to support him." So, yeah, no,
yeah,
shout out to him and his lady, man. Thank you. Um,
yeah.
yeah. So, but even in situations like that, I mean, Chris and you yourself, man, you guys have done some pretty cool things, and I do want to get into some of the things that you've done. Um, but first, I gotta ask, what was the creative bug, especially in this film area? When did you know that you had it?
Um, I don't know if I have it. I think it's more of. I mean, I got in this industry because of by luck. So
Break that
before
down
this,
for me, bro.
yeah, yeah. But before this, I was a singer-songwriter,
Mm-hmm.
and I not to dive so much deep into it, I just wasn't making money off of it, and then
Mm,
being married, having kids, like to be in the studio at 10, 11 to 1 a.m., which is the normal time in studio time. You know this. You're in that game. You know what I mean? Or you're not in that game. You're in that industry. So
yeah,
you know that money's being made or attempted to be made at a certain period of time,
right.
and I just wasn't making bread for that. And I just want to preface this mainly because the people that I've collaborated with within that period of time, specifically like Irving Arturo, um, I feel we were very successful, and I
Mm-hmm.
could live with what we did, which is to where I am now. So film came in as having my kids and wanting to film my son,
Mm,
and then the pandemic occurred, and really it was just me trying to hustle and trying to figure out how to make money on top of my 9 to 5, which is I still have.
mm,
Um, I I feel very lucky. Why I say why I feel lucky about it is because um, I've been able to find a home within the industry that is very new to me,
mm,
that and meet the people that has accepted me, um, because I'm so new to the game, but still accept me, take me in, and give me the wisdom that I need to know to kind of navigate within this industry. to be successful. So I am very reliant on being with people that are that much better, talented, within this industry, which has made me, I feel like the director, producer that I am now.
Oh, no, for sure. Like the people that you surrounding yourself with, like, some definitely some greats and some people that have done some amazing things.
Yeah.
Some of them happen to be at Tapped In on the panel.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, just to think that, these are your homies and your mentors, what would you say has been the importance of surrounding yourself with the greatness that you have and just being able to connect?
Um, it's because I could like they've been so open of telling me or just able to pick up when I call. I think that's the thing. They're willing to pick up when I
Mm,
call. We're able to have the conversation, and um, I can't say that I've taken like one big thing from one person, but I've taken like out of the panel, right? We're for tapped in. It's like Nino and Chris. I've taken a little bit from them, all the way from like, my first best friend, my best friend that started photography 20 years ago. But I just try to have a conversation with anybody that's willing to talk about it,
yeah,
figure out what we're trying to do, and apply it. And I think at the end of the day, those are the people that I am bringing to Tapped In, because Tapped In is about bringing people that who I love and who inspire me.
mm-hmm,
Um, and that's why that's curated for that. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Is that towards everybody? Is everybody that accepting? No.
yeah,
Um, but I do, for those that are like that, I do keep very close to me. So, um, very grateful for that.
yeah, which is exactly. So, I mean, like, yo, Tapped In is exactly the same format as
Come through
360
Saturday,
Creative.
bro.
Yeah. So, like, man, it's like, dude, really, I owe you so much, bro. I do want to ask too. So, singing and songwriting, when did that start?
Bro, that was a long time ago. I mean, that was probably my whole life. I think um my that was my identity until 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anything, if anything, why I feel like I've been successful in this industry now is because of what I went through as a musician and songwriter.
Yeah.
I knew what I wasn't good at.
Mm-hmm.
I surrounded myself within in the music industry with people that helped me navigate that. Like, um, I wasn't the best singer, but I met a really good producer, right? And he in return, he was really good at navigating of how I wanted to be in the studio, bouncing ideas, realized that I was really good at collaborating. In
Yeah.
return, me and him created amazing music because of of allowing each other using our strengths, right? And so I
Yeah.
use that within film still to this day, and that's why I feel like um it was an easy transition for me, and I fell in love with the same vibrance of it,
Mm-hmm.
and the same, because I'm even more collaborative. I realize, I mean, if I could take anything from the film industry and bring it back to the music,
Yeah.
probably would have involved more people. I probably would have reached out to
Ooh.
more people,
Yeah.
um, because that's has been my biggest strength now. is being more open to being with people that are better than me.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And smarter than me, have a better eye and visually be more inclined and not be afraid to acknowledge that.
yeah.
Like, you know, yeah, that to me is like, I'm okay to say that. And I feel good about that. And I like them. I love that they know that I feel that way. I want to give them their flowers before I die.
That's amazing. You want to give them their flowers before you die.
Yeah.
That is such a humbling thing to say. That's such a selfless thing to say too. So, what would you? All right, let me ask you. Why do you think that collaboration in music is so much harder than collaborating in film? Because it seems like in the film world, almost like the more the merrier.
I you're right, and I agree. Like, but it's just I didn't know the industry.
Ah, okay.
So I think because I'm new to the game, like, and I was in the, I don't know how it is now in R&B now,
Mm-hmm.
but I was in R&B before, like in the 90s and 2000. It's not that collaborative.
Yeah, it's not.
Like it wasn't. It really
Mm-hmm.
was. It really wasn't. I mean, if you were collaborative in as an R&B artist, you would have, maybe even like a rap, like a hip hop artist do the bridge to the
Mm-hmm.
verse, but it wasn't as collaborative. Even songwriting now is more open.
Yeah.
Before I always tell my wife, I'm like, oh, I know who wrote that artist, right? I know who wrote that song. I know who did that. But I did that research 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Now artists are more they're more willing to be like, yeah, yeah, I'm the singer. He or she wrote that. They're willing to
Yeah.
give flowers now. Back
Right.
in the day, it was like, not like that. So I think being
Unless you were
naive.
like Babyface or something.
Yeah, well, even then, like, I don't know if I mean we knew. I mean, I know me and you know Boys to Men
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
collaborated, but
Mm-hmm.
would you know if you never searched?
Yeah, if you didn't buy the CD and look in the booklet.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, right, right. But like now, like I guess because of social media, you could like roll for Chris Brown, stuff like that, so you can't
hmm
hide it no more. So maybe that's why artists are more, or singers are more willing, or even rappers inclined to just allow it to be what it is. But it's not like there's no shine upon it anymore because I think people whatever it is with social media or realizing that in order to be successful, you do need a team.
for sure.
And like to expect like, you know, because we're in the genre, Chris Brown to travel the world and produce an album, songwrite an album, be a father, and then tour and pay, the people that are underneath him. That's so when it's you can't have him be in the studio writing 30 songs.
Right, right,
So you gotta spread it out. You gotta involve a team.
right.
And, I think that's like opening the bridge of that.
hmm Which, speaking of songwriting, one of the things that me and David connected on was our love and appreciation for Mr. John Bellion.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the man with the pen. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah,
I bro, I remember when you told me and we talked about that visually, like we connected that way.
yeah,
I think that's like been the bridge for my career in the film industry, how short it is that like um it connects to me of how he presented himself within that music. Like I don't know if it was that genuine that he pulled up in the studio,
Yeah, yeah.
you
I
know,
don't know. I
mixed
don't know.
whatever, but it felt genuine to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like it reminded me of back in the day when Ryan Leslie had the videos.
Yes.
Yeah, it's he picked that up and did his own thing with it. And once again, this was what 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is it's crazy. This was 10, 12 years ago, man. So um but yeah, to do the research and find out, man, like yeah, that's how we connected, man. It was through John Bellion because it was through his own music, but then also he had already started to pen stuff for other people, like, that was
Justin
before
Bieber's
they
last
knew.
album, majority of it, I mean, I don't know, don't quote me on that, but I think a lot of it was written by John Bellion.
Who was that?
Justin Bieber, his
Justin
latest
Bieber,
album.
the
Yeah.
Jonas Brothers as well.
See that,
Yeah, yeah.
that's like to me how like it 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 it's branched off of being able to like it's more open. You and maybe between me and you because we are and that we hear the nuance like we know a John Bellion record
Mm-hmm.
right as we're in it, but it's still really cool to be able to acknowledge that and
Yeah,
to give like flowers to that, you
yeah,
know, and that's like really dope that it's allowed to be that way now.
yes. No, it definitely is because I know what is so inspirational about you is the fact that you could be producing a project, but you're so complimentary to every single person that is working with you, which
Very
is so cool. Like I actually just did a shoot with David, and just the way he worked, like you would not think, like it was no, it was you come from a place of being a servant, and I dig that so much
thank you, man. I appreciate
because you
that.
serve.
That's part of it. Like, and we could talk about it. We had Monty model for us for Hello Kitty. We're doing some short content for them. But what's cool about that project, and that's a great way to acknowledge it. It's actually my production company, All Films, working closely with amazing visionary Victor Hernandez.
Shout
Um,
out to Victor, yeah.
yeah, he directed everything, and then and not to short my team like have amazing DP Zach,
Mm-hmm.
Gafford, Dom, first AC future director Gene, you know, but
Yeah.
there's a whole list. There's a lot more people, but what's cool about that is that that was our first time me really us collaborating with someone like Vic. And you know, for me, I usually direct, you know, our content and um you know as me as like you said servant is like me trying to find the gaps of what the team needs. Could be as simple as like, you know, does Monty need water? Does my, you know, director is shaded? Is my DP shaded? Do they got food? Does our talent have food? Like, um, I believe, you know, like happy wife, happy life, like happy crew, happy life, like happy,
Yeah.
you know, like it it's not normal. I think you've done it. You've modeled for other stuff where if you're there for it was a 3 hour to 4 hour shoot.
Mm-hmm.
It's not normal to get, you know, food
Yeah,
there.
nah.
Yeah, you know what I
Not
mean.
at
Like,
all.
if it's an 8 hour day. Yes, you know, it's a given
Mm-hmm.
in the U.S. or in California.
Yeah.
Um, but what I loved working with Vic, and at least with my team, outside of working with Vic, I value taking care of people on set um more. I mean, I just really do. If you're on my, if I'm directing, producing, you know, to take it away from that whole set, I really care if you're okay, happy, good. Working with Vic, he feels the same way, and it
Mm-hmm.
was really nice to be able to implement that, with you coming on board last minute. Um, you bringing on Janelle, my friend Natalie,
Yeah.
and Colleen, and the way that, at the end of the day, yes, like we're all doing something, but there's a common decency of like you could either give, offer someone water. You could offer someone water with ice. You could offer someone water ice with chips.
Mm-hmm.
But what how much can you give? How much are you willing to give? And what I think I value, or what we've been able to do and navigate with this, is that whoever we work with very closely, we're willing to give the last dollar. If we have $1 to spend, one more dollar to spend, we will spend it to make everyone here a little bit more happier. What is that $1 going to do for me and you? It's not.
Right.
We could spend it, and then me and you could get something together.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm
We
trying to tell you. See, and that's why it was really a pleasure to work with all of you, like your whole team, man. Um, how do you go about picking your team? Like,
and
what are criteria that you look for as a producer? Which you really broke down the definition of producer. Producer is someone who sees what is needed
yeah.
for the best product. So,
For I can't speak for Vic, but at least for all films specifically, collaboration.
mm,
If you are willing to collaborate, no matter what role you're in, and respect each other, no matter what role you're in, you're good on my book.
nice.
I like I've to put it in perspective, like, you know, yes, I direct now and I produce now, but I still gaff, I still PA.
Yeah,
I still, I mean, even when I was there, on that shoot, I did some PA stuff. Like if Zach needed, or my DP, needed water, like I'm gonna go get him water.
yeah.
Like if I'm available, I'm gonna pull up and do that. Like there's no if you're really, if you're within my crew, I know that that is part of your how you move, and that's why you're part of the team.
Hmm.
I'll have a really cool story. So
Yeah.
we we recently, just last week, shot a music video for this amazing artist, Pretty Papes. Um,
Shout out Pretty Papes,
yeah,
man. Yo, he's amazing.
he is, man. He's the
Yeah.
host for Tapped In too. So uh,
Yes.
this is crazy, bro. We shot a 12-hour day.
Mm,
This is a 2-day shoot. We shot a 12-hour day. We pull up the next day. This is literally the next day, and we're on that scene. And in my mind, I have this SD card that has the day before, and you could probably guess what happens, right? I give this SD card to my DP, and we've had this history of like I back it up, you know, we give him the SD card, it's good, it's already backed up. So there was already an assumption that I backed it up.
hmm.
So right before we start striking for day two, they wiped the SD card, and I think I was just tired, and I was like, the communication wasn't there,
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck, we deleted everything, bro. The 12 hour shoot, 12 hour shoot, and
Wow.
Let me tell you what happened right after. Literally 10 seconds after we deleted the footage, we hit record and we continued on. We finished what we planned out on that scene, and after we're like, okay, let's see if we could recover the card. Went to try to recover the card, let that kind of figure out within the app, and then on the software that we downloaded. Then we were like, we continue the shots, right? We keep pushing forward. At the end, we weren't able to recover the footage. Um, but we kept going, and at that night, we were supposed to go to like a third scene, but I kind of felt like we weren't down, but we were in this mood of like still keep going. So I didn't want to stop that. And so I was like, bro, let's just stay here. Let's just be creative here. Let's just keep shooting and catch up. Like we're here, we're here. And we got other footage there that I could say right now, like one of my favorite. It's the best footage that I've ever been a part of,
Wow.
creatively, and what we're going through. And what I thought I knew was even more proven at that moment, was that I was a part of the right people. Because and I want to take out Papes real quick, but I want to say something about Papes after too. But within the group, within my crew, I wouldn't want to experience that without anybody else, right? Like we literally was like, all right, we delete our footage, keep
Yeah.
going. We didn't recover it, keep going. Do we want to do day 3? Fuck it, let's do day 3. This music video, and which will probably come out end of September, is a level of my favorite music video or content that we created, and it's because we allowed ourselves to just keep pushing, right? And so that's why my crew is like, that's why we're built that way, because of the way that we're compassionate first,
Yeah.
versus like, like if you're just working with people that are just getting paid, I think the second reaction is like, so what's gonna happen next, right?
Hmm.
To add to this whole project,
Yeah.
passion project.
Hmm.
So we still like, I think naturally, if you're with the wrong people, or not the wrong people, if you're with people who don't care, you delete footage. It's like, okay, whatever you figure out the last day. But
Yeah.
we all said, let's keep going. Let's go until 2 a.m. Let's book another day to recoup another vision, or add to the vision that we have, to take it another level. Okay, so that's my crew alone, and like, I believe, that's why we're gonna, we take it to the another level. But what also why we're so great or so blessed too is because the artistry of Papes too. Him as a human being, to hear that we deleted footage that he was a part of for 12 hours and 10 seconds, hit record, and still take the direction that I was giving him. Believe in, like, I'm gonna figure this out, Papes. I'm either gonna recover it, or we're gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
And like, he was like, as an artist, as a human being, was understanding to continue it, to believe in what we're doing,
Hmm.
and just be great. Like, all of those pieces with a compassionate artist who really is really great at what he does. And you add the compassionate team, and just who believes in the vision of what we're doing. That is very, very. I am very, very lucky to be a part of that. That's not a normal. I know that is not a normal situation. I know that's not a normal thing.
Yeah.
Um, but that did take 4 years of going through meeting people and acknowledging each individual person of who they are and what they want, understanding what they what what they're able to do now and what they want to do, and then and fitting that. Like, for example, if you and your girl Janelle wanted to join off films, you're like, I both want to be this role. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be right for me to take both of you on
Mm-hmm.
unless I had a conversation with both of you and was like, can we navigate this relationship?
Yeah.
Can we navigate, like, are you okay for me to say that this person's in this role now and it could change later and we could figure it out and still be 110% no matter what fills that void? Because remember, me and to bring it back to Vic, I usually direct,
Yeah.
uh, and he was on that shoot. I was directing. He was, creative directing. We were both like switching roles, but we both like, uh, I would say we both. I mean, we both give 110% no matter what.
No, you
That's like,
guys definitely gave 110% no matter what. Because to see you guys, just how you guys dance together, the collaborative effort, and to see you guys bounce ideas, and then I love how you, as a producer, you let him direct.
yeah, there we go. I appreciate that, man,
Yo,
because
you let him do his thing. You didn't
yeah,
get in the way. Like, yo, you and the whole time I don't think you the whole time I don't think I heard you give a command. You asked questions.
mhm. Are you okay? What do you need?
Are you okay? What
Yeah,
shot is next? Like, is this the part where we do this with this? And just the way there was such a level of respect.
yeah,
There was such a level of respect. It was the highest level of respect that I had seen, especially for you guys both having leadership roles. But just part of my dad always would tell me, part of knowing how to lead is knowing how to follow.
yes. That's a great way to put that. Yeah, bro. I've that there you go. I think that's the phrase of, or that is what I look for every person that's part of my team, is if they do that. There you
Yeah.
go. That's how I wish I put it. But
Yeah.
that's like, that's perfect because we're 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 in a place, we're in an industry, or we are in a place now, even with AI, that it's impossible to be the best person, like the best talent, right?
Yes.
So, um, to beat that, or to be, not even to even beat that, but to be a part of it, is to um be willing to follow, and you get to choose who you follow, you get to choose when to lead,
Yeah.
but yeah, like, that's a great way to put it. Like, it's choose when to follow, choose when to lead, and I value that, and which allows, which what I feel is really dope is because, I mean, I'm lucky is I'm just surrounding myself that's with people that's really really good, so I could
Yeah.
I I could follow people that's really really dope.
Hmm. Yeah. I
Very
mean,
lucky.
yeah. Because I mean, a lot of times, yo, I think with AI, you did hit on something. It's impossible to be quote unquote the best, but I feel like AI is revealing who people truly are.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's okay. What is your level of creativity? What is your level? Because we get it, man. Like it's the same thing when I look at AI kind of the same way as when you're working in the DAW and you're able to quantize. Okay, there's no reason to why anybody should be off beat, but at the same time, when you do play off beat, is does it create a groove or does it create an interruption? Like what does it do? So yeah, I mean it's cool to see that people can still come together and work, and it's not about creating something perfect, it's about creating something memorable, you know?
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a great way of comparing to music, DAW with quantizing.
Yeah,
That's very
like I
true.
look at it as the same thing because we,
You're coming out
man,
with
I
quotes,
don't
bro.
know. Yo, I have to ask, how has AI changed film, or how is it starting to poke its head into film?
Okay, I'm gonna be sure that I'm probably the wrong person to answer that, but at least I think for me, how I could see it, I think AI is a good thing for film. The
Mm,
same way that I think, um, so the reason why I say that is because I feel anything that you could bring attention to, it just makes things better. So if AI could be involved with film and photography, and if people and there's gonna be a group that accepts it and acknowledges it and allows it to grow within that, like it's gonna be good. The same way that we use quantizing. Like
yeah.
there's just people there that know how to use it and know when to use it and know
Hmm.
when not to use it.
Yeah.
Those are just the ones that stand out.
Hmm.
So I think it's gonna be good because it just shines the light of being creative. Like how you said, you can't AI is not gonna do it unless you be a part of it.
Right. Yeah.
So, I like I think they probably thought the same thing when they were recording the 8 deck. How do they
Yeah.
feel about the new recording on Pro Tools? Not what I mean. Like, you,
Yeah.
I'm
Or
sure.
you remember when people felt some type of way about auto tunes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And now you see how they like now it's hard to even find that, like, bro. I tell myself this, but I'm like, man, if I had that, if I used it the same way it was used now, I'm like, damn, I could have.
Game
But
over.
but there's like the tool is like T-Pain, like it was is it's the same entrepreneurship of like what T-Pain was doing. He was like he's an amazing singer by himself. He was able to use it as a tool, not a not a it wasn't to fill a handicap. It wasn't that's why I say AI is good for filmmakers because true filmmakers, videographers and cinematographers, photographers, creative people will find the right way to use it.
Yes.
Um, So
Yeah.
in the industry with the right people, yes, amazing shit. You know what I mean? Will there
Hmm.
be someone using auto tune really bad that may like get the clout? Of course.
Yeah.
Will it last? You know, may not.
Yeah. I mean, I think being an interrupter, in the space is that's where the creativity comes in. You take the ingredients of the day. It's like a soup of the day. You can take the ingredients and make lobster bisque, or you can make tomato soup. But what is going to be difference? What is going to be the thing that causes it to want to enjoy this? Like, do I want to have like some toast with this, or do I want to have it in a bread bowl? Like, there's so many ways that this could happen, but don't be thinking that just popping a can is going to get you somewhere, buddy. Like, I mean,
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
That's why. I mean that. So. I bet you in your field as being a engineer, that
Yeah.
an artist could walk in your studio and could look at you as a sound engineer, or they could look at you as an producer sound engineer. They
Yeah.
could look at you as an EP of part of the record. I think what
Or a
makes
wizard. Yeah.
what could make the best collaborative environment is when a singer, songwriter, or a rapper pulls up in your space and they allow your ear to be involved versus someone that is like just hitting a record and EQing. Like I feel people don't know that the reason why things sound so great is because the person behind the board, the person that is mixing, EQing, is understanding the record,
Mm-hmm.
understanding the artist,
Yeah.
and on top of that, the artist understands that the person on that is an artist too,
Mm-hmm.
right? And allows that like collaboration. Because in my company, that's like my biggest thing too. I tell um, the people that I work with that because they have their own they aspire to have their own production companies.
Mm-hmm.
I I always look at people as an entrepreneur. The second you stop looking at like when other people stop looking at other people as an entrepreneur, it just doesn't work out. Like
Yeah.
you think you're above it. It's not like that, man. Like
Yeah.
you
You
know,
see them as employees, like not as people, you know?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like um yeah, the way I think the way that people collaborate musically and why artists are grow. I bet they have the same um post production team since day one.
Right.
I, I
Right. No,
I would
I,
assume so,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, because you need people that do understand the vision or, that at least you have a synergy with that you trust. Because I mean, I look at the situation with Papes, if this was any other artist, they could have just been like, "Oh, the footage is gone. I don't even want to do the shoot no more." Like,
Exactly, exactly.
but for him to
I
want to
would have.
continue and give you that energy that you need, yeah,
Yeah,
like there's a level of trust there. How do you cultivate that?
that's just something I can't explain because I think if I was in his place, I would have stopped and told. I mean, because my initial reaction, if I was him, my my initial reaction would have been grab the laptop. Let's see if we can recover this before anything. So I can't speak for Papes.
Hmm.
I think that's just what makes him great.
Yeah.
So I don't like I'm just I think that's dope. For
Hmm.
I mean that's how I would have reacted in that time when I was singer songwriting. Now I think why in this genre that I'm in or in this creativeness I'm less about me,
Hmm.
so I have that quick switch of like let's keep pushing, trying to figure it out, like a problem solver
Yeah.
versus um being what is it about me, like it was that when I heard I guess I could play it like this. I could play this back. Uh, my brother Zach, right when he deleted the footage, and obviously it wasn't his fault. It was miscommunication.
Hmm.
I probably been like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Already blaming, and he could have been like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
You
You
Communication.
usually back it up. Like,
Yeah, we both didn't, and I think like we're just both problem solvers.
yeah.
We just was like, okay, let's keep going, figure it out, and I can't say this. I can't say that I would have done the same in Pape's shoes. It's exactly what you said. It's a totally different scenario. That's why I can't say that for him because obviously in the industry that I'm in now, it is a
Mm.
lot of giving. It's a
Yeah.
lot of um it's a lot of accepting to be a part of something because um it is devastating for Papes to hear that we deleted the footage
Yeah.
because, you know, artistry to ask someone to reperform something is like really tough, you know.
Yeah.
We as filmmakers, you know, to be very blunt, we just hit record,
Yeah.
you know, and um, you know, I mean to the basics of it, to the basics of it. So I think overall we were just very no, we're very blessed that it happened within the type of people that we're in because again we were there ready for a passion project.
Hmm.
We're already there to try to prove ourselves. We're already there because we believe in each other, and at the end, it's like we did figure it out. And when they see this music video, and I'll say that on the record, it's called the Fucked Up Freestyle. When the world sees this music video, it's a big an announcement of what we're about, and I hope that resonates like at least how much I believe in it.
Yeah.
Um, you know, because that is something, you know, my team and Papes dedicated 3 days of our life with no backing and just using the resources that we have, you know, and with the story that we just kind of like we
Yeah.
could fuck it.
Dude, and see, this is the coolest part because the knowing the context in which this passion project is born, it's almost like you guys went through labor. You not only put in labor, but you went through labor to give birth to this project.
Yeah, that you put that perfectly.
Oh man, bless us, bro. Like yo, it was because
And it's
to
like yeah,
that's pain. That's
yeah,
pain when you delete the footage.
Yeah,
Like that's pain.
yeah, Jean put it in a really good context. She was like, it was like we killed our first babies.
Wow.
Like that was
Yeah.
like that was the feeling, and you know love to you know I don't want you know anybody to I mean I get that's a really extreme way to put it, but you know like
Yeah.
it does feel the ideas that we had kind of like was lost and you're kind of chasing this of like thing
Hmm.
and it allowed us to be even more creative,
Right. You
you know.
know, and we live in that industry. We live and work in an industry where it's all about how bad do you want it, and it's like, is it worth doing over if you lost it?
Yeah,
Yo,
at
man.
least for this one I can say it was worth it, bro, when
Yeah.
you see it, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and especially when it requires you, when it unveils just maturity and grit and muscle that you didn't know you had. So, nah, that's dope, man. I have to. I want to segue because you obviously are a family man too. You are a father of two. So I'll ask you about your family in a second, but how has being a family man affected you as a businessman?
Bro, that's like um I at this moment figure it out, you know. I think me and my wife and my kids, they know that I love them,
Hmm.
you know, and that in order for me to be where we are as a company to strive where we're at, I've been very blessed because the home has been very solid,
Mm,
you know.
yeah.
I think what I have to figure out and my goal is it's not to be, we work so hard. I'm working so hard to provide for them, and that I'm not there.
Yeah.
So there's like a pull and push, right? I guess that's like that's the verbiage of it.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, figuring out when's the right time to pull and push within that. I've obviously probably pulled and pushed when I probably should have pushed and pulled, and
Understood. Yeah.
yeah, and Michelle, my wife, has like held it down and
Yeah.
uh, really allowed me to kind of not kind of she's allowed me to figure this out. And my goal going forward is like figuring out how I could get back home, and I'm straight up about that, man. Like, I mean that's why there you're what for me it was being a videographer to um thinking of owning a production company, then directing to producing, going flipping back and forth. It's trying to find a way to navigate back home, right?
Yeah.
How can I get there? And I haven't figured that out yet, but I know that I feel that in order to do that, I just need to be able to continue to build the team that we have, and eventually replace me in the roles that I do so I could go back home. And that's part of like, letting go and 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 trusting the process, the 76ers trusting the process. But
Exactly.
yeah, but I really believe in that. Like, if I'm afraid to be replaced, if I think that's why I always tell myself like I'm not him. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm him, if I try to become him, then the new phase of like I'm him, I'm that guy, right? Like then I forget that I'm the husband, the dad,
Yeah.
the guy that's spearheading the company,
Come on
like,
now.
because it's not about me, as
Yeah.
you know, like, to be successful from what we're doing. If I was trying to do everything, then it's not like, that's not it. Like, um so it is a balance, and trying to figure it out, but I'm very grateful that and blessed to be able to do what I'm doing now, and allow the space to kind of figure it out, because she knows my heart's in the right place, you
Yeah.
know, and I have people reminding me of that. I had recently, just yesterday, I had a friend, Norik, my homie. I hope you meet. Hopefully he comes out on Saturday. But he said a phrase to me that he was a songwriter, rapper, and he was just at the studio, and I asked him like, um why did he stop music, and he said that it was because God told him that he needed to stop music, and that the persona that he was living up to was not, it wasn't him, right?
Mm.
And he was living in that persona, like, you do your music videos, you have your models, you navigate a certain way when you're out at 2 a.m.,
Yeah.
right? You have your drinks, right? You do your thing. And I, in a way, like, I was able to relate to that, because at this moment I feel that way. Like, I'm like, how do I think why I feel comfortable of making moves this light is because I was in the music industry, right? So these late hours, these late editing sessions.
Yeah.
You know, it's just this time, why I had to quit last time because I wasn't making money. This time, my wife understands because I'm making money, but I still have to make the right decisions,
Right.
right? Because you're surrounded by a lot of crazy shit, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All the time.
all the time, all the
All the
time,
time.
and so I feel like not even just like obviously her being here, but surrounding myself with the right people too. Um, will hopefully continue me being there for the right reason and hopefully continue that. I'm trying to be. You
Yeah.
know.
I love your vulnerability in saying that you are figuring it out, because so many times it was what we were talking about earlier, man. Sometimes as producers, we try to produce the perfect life, but it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
You
I love,
can't.
I love what you said about that. Yeah,
Yeah, you do. You can't produce your life, the same way you produce a film, because sometimes there are no do-overs.
yeah,
And then sometimes, the lighting is bad. Sometimes things aren't pretty. It's not something that, like, just some makeup, or like we can't switch out an actor, or, a role. We just have to work with what we have sometimes, and power through. And I love that. Like, it seems like that's been the theme in getting through all of this. Like, that getting back home is a priority, so you put in the hours. You know that doing this passion project could lead to other things, so you put in the hours, you put in the time. And so, man, when you're doing a passion project, how do you pick the passion project? Like, or how do you get a feeling, or is it, what qualifies, what's the litmus test for a passion project?
yeah. Um, Now it just has to be reciprocated for me. Like, um, it's part of the whole tapped in idea that when you do a passion project, I think at least for me that I learned early on is that I got hurt by chasing stuff that just wasn't the right fit. And
Mm-hmm.
that I use that analogy of me like if I just hit up Justin Bieber in his DM and be like, hey, can I produce a song for you or produce a video? He's not even gonna reply.
Right.
I could get, I could be upset, but I'm just not in that field, right? So, passion projects, like the artist or the person that I'm doing it with, all the way down to the team that I'm working with, we all have to want it. We all have to be doing it like it wasn't a passion project.
Mm.
I think that's like the thing. It's like there's okay, not sorry, not. I think we just all have to want it. We all have to want to be involved because you as curators and filmmakers, there's a catch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even musicians, like what have you done for me lately, right? So there's like you got to prove a mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's not how I believe to build.
Yeah.
And that's why tapped in is something that I created to continue what I believe in, which is build from the people that are surrounding with you that believe in you. That doesn't mean that we're like, Justin Bieber's here and we're here.
Mm-hmm.
We could be here. It's just it's easier for me, you, and to talk.
Yeah.
easier for me and you to have a communication. It's easier for me to navigate with you because you're next to me.
Yeah.
It's easier for me and you to build. So the reason why I do a lot of passion projects, well, actually, all my passion projects is usually with Papes, is because he's 100% in, and when like it's not just a video to him, it's okay. How can we promote this? How can we cut this and different stuff? I'll give him, a 3-minute video, and he could use that for like 2 months, and I'll gain so much traction from that because of how well he's able to navigate that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all good, bro.
So, and for me, as long as I'm not chasing a relationship that doesn't really exist, it's worth doing a passion project with.
Love it. Dude, I love that's another thing about this community. Just everybody that you work with, more so than reaching up, you reach across.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I mean
I
I don't mean to cut you off, but that's exactly that's exactly it. Because um it's like every relationship, we have to understand, and we have to really basic to the idea that in any relationship you have to have value in a relationship.
right.
Business relationship, you have to have value. In a love relationship, you have to have value,
Yeah.
right? So why should I expect Justin Bieber to want to fuck with me? I have no value to Justin Bieber, and that's
Right.
okay, right?
Right.
But if I reach across and have value to you, and you have value to me, then of course the working relationship is gonna be better.
Yeah.
You bring value, I bring value to my wife, she brings value to me. Of course, relationships be right. If I'm not, I mean, she could, say I'm not taking out the trash or you know doing the dishes, then my value of being a husband in the house is devalued. So
Mm-hmm.
why am I here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so those are like figuring of making sure we give value to relationships. So when the collaborativeness happens, it's not a transactional thing. It's not, hey, let's make a video, it's done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very cool too, because y- building relationships is everything. You know, you know how it is. Like when you're in the studio with somebody who, man, and in the studio, it's always weird because somebody could not like you because you're wearing last year's Jordans or something. It could be like the weirdest things, but working with people that genuinely like you as a person
Yeah.
and that trust your ear, your eye, your intuition, like your direction, and all of that's what a producer is. And so for somebody to be able to trust you like that, like Papes trust you, like the team trusts you, that's everything. And like that's when you build more than a team, you build a community.
Yes, sir. Tapped
And I
in.
also have heard you say that word a lot, community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, I've been reaching out obviously for Tap In and trying to get people there. And um, when someone says that they are RSVPing or when they're not, it's the same response. I just say, thank you for considering, thank you for wanting to be there.
Hmm.
At the end, I'm just trying to build a community, and I want to say that because I don't want them to think I'm just hitting them up for to be there. Like, and if they want to be, if they really are SVPing, like, I want them to know that's my goal.
Hmm.
Like, I also don't want you just to pull up. Like, I really want to have a communicative conversation. Because why meet up on a Saturday and not want, like, why waste your time, you know,
Right.
if you don't know at least what the intent is of it. Like, you could go to a club, you go to a bar, you could go, anywhere else. But if you're going to Tapped In, there's one goal in mind. It's really be compassionate, right? So you say hi, you introduce yourself, and you respect that other people have creative ideas, and then hopefully you could collaborate. I heard already. I think Tapped In is already a success because I've heard already to this day. I've heard probably 15 people have met through Tapped In and have created jobs within each other that they never met until
Yeah.
then.
It happens, and I love it. I was just like, I know when they formed that was at Tapped In. It had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
was the last time we were all in a room together, and it
yeah.
spawned. It's almost as if it's almost like wildflowers. The way they spread, how they spread is like through the seeds, the wind blowing through the seeds and spreading them throughout the ground. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's what Tapped In is, man. It incubates this thing that is just crazy. And so I can't wait to see what is going to happen
And
with this one.
that's what I hope, and I hope that I know it's not always going to be that way. I know there's going to be something else that continues that. Like I said, there's something that lives a certain time frame. And the reason why I know that and being honest about this, because I've been to other mixers, and there's a certain type of mixer,
Hmm.
and I want to be at the level of mixer where it really is about mix and mingling and
Yeah.
like acknowledging each other.
Hmm.
Get Tapped In, or when Tapped In, adjusts to be something different, then it's something different, and it doesn't match with like that, and it'll evolve. Someone else will hold that torch,
Yes.
um, because that idea is not just from Tapped In. That just comes from the right people being in the right. It has to be with people who want to be there and do it that way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, sir.
that's we're very lucky, right? That's what happened at the first version. Hopefully, happens on the second version. Hopefully, happens on the third. But with the second, it feels like it's not. Then it's ready for someone else to kind of navigate that. And like, um, I think it's our responsibility as um curators within that is to acknowledge that and not um force feed that. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
I've just been to mixers where I didn't you don't have a voice,
Yeah.
and you're just listening to people that flexing, stunt, like it's like a versus a really community thing. So I think it's beyond Tapped In. It's the people that are coming into that event.
Yeah. Yeah. And we all know, like being in LA, especially if you've been to a mixer like pre-COVID. Man, it's sometimes like that Ed Sheeran song, man. You look around and just have that thought. I don't want to be here. Like I,
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I don't, I don't know anyone. It doesn't really seem like anyone wants to know me, or it's just, it gets weird. But I mean, yo, and it's crazy. This is something to include too. The first time I actually saw you in person was at Tapped In.
was Tapped In. Yeah, that's that's dope, man.
And I have met you through your ad on Instagram, like for your business, all films,
Yeah.
and we had stayed in contact for 2 years before we even met.
Yeah, I think. I think I told that to everybody that we
Everybody, yeah,
that
yeah,
we spoke to.
yeah. You also
And I
told
think that
everybody it
was,
was my birthday too. Like,
yeah. I think bro. That was. I think the reason why that stood out to me so much and why I kept mentioning it was because that it was so genuine of that moment. Like,
yeah,
um, I didn't know who was pulling up. And you have these RSVPs and you kind of do this event. Like I think then, maybe no one shows up, and it may be like 300 people show up. You don't know.
yeah,
Um, and when you showed up, it was like I was like, wow, this feeling of how far you could reach and how far you can have a connection with and how stars align,
right.
you know, to make that happen was really dope. That I had to talk about it.
Yeah,
Like I had to tell them like, wait, no, you don't understand. Like
yeah,
I've never like we know each and we had conversation. Like I like
yeah.
a deep conversation, but obviously it's a little unfair because we didn't meet personally yet. But I think I have at least even within my business acronym that I still like put people first. So
Mm-hmm.
I did have conversation with you, and I know things will happen with you. You know what happened with
Yeah,
my life prior. So um that wasn't to close a deal. That was a genuine, hey bro, I get it.
yeah.
Like, I get you too.
Exactly.
Really? Which allowed us to for tapped in to be the segue to me because I think we both were like, it's easy because that works. Like it was never a forced scenario, you know?
Never. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like that is such a great story because that's really dope. And I see like you're like how you said you're connected with the people still through Tapped In and like how that balances that's just really cool. I don't know.
It
I
is.
I just think that's really fucking cool.
And the stars literally aligned on that day. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's so crazy, but man, it's so humbling and it gives me such a heart of gratitude for meeting you at a time where it was really sad and it's so it speaks to when you're going through tough times because sometimes it just pays to just lean into when people are there for you. And you just happen to be somebody that was there for me at that time. And just by me leaning in a little bit and just being like, okay, yo, this is somebody I can have rapport with. And we connected and stay connected. And then 2 years later, yo, we're doing work together and things are finally aligned in a way that initially we couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So
very
yeah, like I mean, it's something on the other side of if you just keep pushing and then don't push people away.
yeah, there's no well and we there's value to each other. I think like
Yeah.
the value alone is the genuineness of it. Like I think were you telling me already that you came from Virginia? Sorry.
Oh, North Carolina.
North Carolina, North
Yeah,
Carolina.
yeah, yeah.
Like that already has a that already has resonance to me because I don't know if that's the right word, but it resonates with me because I living in California for my whole life. It's hard to imagine leaving here, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
to hear you, you know, willing to leave or to navigate somewhere to chase a dream
Yeah.
is already fascinating for me, and I admire that. So
Oh,
when when we met and we had that conversation, that was the value that you brought to me of like someone that is just a go getter, you know, figuring it out. Like I was running an ad, and you're like, "Fuck it, let me see if I could revive of a music career that you're doing."
yeah.
And like it's that chance of like to go after something that
Hmm.
like I admire, and that has been our like relationship. At the end, it's been you more as a go-getter that has allowed this relationship to blossom. Um, because really, I mean, in my eyes, you know, I feel like you've done. Yeah, your willingness to be a part of something, and be at tapped in when you may not have known anyone, to come to California when you didn't know anyone, like that is like that I don't know, that's like really cool to me. Like
Oh
that's
man,
why I value you so much, because I think that's just a lot of balls.
thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
You know what I mean? No, that's
Yeah.
like and to speak about Top to the First, when it was open mic, like you pulled, you're one out of like 8 people out of 100 people that walked up, and I apologize, I don't remember exactly what you said, but you went up and you had something to say, you had something to talk about, and a mention in front of 100 people, and that just is why you're doing what you're doing now. You know what I mean? That's dope.
Oh man, yo, appreciate you, brother, man, and that means a lot coming from you. So I fully receive that for real, man. Um, yeah, I think just being around other creatives, because for a long time I was trying to do so much on my own, but I was like, in this year, like I'm gonna see how many people I can work with,
That's dope.
and just take every experience as it comes. And it's not even about trying to get to a certain place. Like I just want to come, and I really just want to help, like utilize my gifts and just see where it goes. Cause I realized that one opportunity could lead to the next, but at the same time, not focusing on that, just focusing on just getting better. And as long as I'm making progress in one direction, yo, everything is everything.
Yeah, that's 1,000. Because I think
Yeah.
what, at least in I always now, which is crazy to say, I have, people that ask advice about within the film industry, but it's the same as like music too, like,
Hmm.
or creatively, your best project or your best idea is your idea that you finished, because it allows you to get to your next, right?
Hey.
Um, and that's why, like, when I think of I'm your third podcast, right? Or I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, you're the fourth. Yeah.
Fourth.
Hmm.
That's four more than me. You know what I mean? Like, no, honestly, like I think that's like that's what it's about. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? When I went through editing videos, like I think now I've probably surpassed how many songs I've written,
Hmm.
within the
Wow.
yeah.
Mhm.
But it's the same mentality. I think in the music, that's what I learned late, was like just finish the record.
Yeah.
Just go, and then I just use that as the same idea now. It's like just finish it, finish the idea. You'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Because you can't. There's 90% of people are dreamers, and there's the 10% that actually go at it. So you're that 10% by doing this podcast, because Because people are like, oh, let's do a podcast. Let's do a podcast. I've said it. I'm like, I want to do one. I've been saying that for fucking 5 years. I've never fucking done one. You know what I mean? And that's like, that's why that's why there's 10% doers, man, and um, that's fucking dope. You know what I mean? I admire that so much because
Oh man,
that's what I believe in.
thank you, brother. Like you started this business in COVID and pressing through everything that has came. Um, all of the personal things, the professional things, and still maintaining your humanity. Bro, there's such a level of humanity to you where it's just missing from the industry, period. Usually when people do things, you can't find them because they don't even really mentally live on earth with us anymore. They don't see people as people. They don't see projects as special, but you still valuing people, still valuing the work that you're doing, and still taking the care and time that things need, man. Like that's been inspirational for me. And so that's why that's part of the reason for this podcast, because people that are doing what you do, how you do, you guys, you really have the story that's worth telling.
Thank you, man. Because
Yeah.
I believe in that. People,
Mm-hmm.
relationship first, for real.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's like again, I am not where I'm at, without, the people at home and then the team that evolve me now. Um, yeah, like to do the certain projects that we're doing now, not able to do that alone.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's talk about what you're working on right now, man. What does what does David have coming down the pipeline that we should be on the lookout for? Besides the effed up freestyle, right?
Oh yeah, fucked up freestyle
Yeah.
music. Yeah. Um, no, that's it. That's gotta look out for that one. That's gonna be lit. Pretty papes.
Yo,
The right
that's one of
David
them
Aure.
ones, man. I already know, like, yo, Papes be snapping. Yeah, so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Nah, I mean, at least for me, that is it. But I think to see, if anything, watch the people that I'm working with because people like Zach, uh, Tom, Alan, Gene, Vic, Joe, James, Lalo. Fuck, I know I'm missing people, but um, all these people are special because they have a creative space that is very very genuine to what they're doing within they're creating they're being they're building relationships that are bigger than just making content. And like I think if there's anything to watch for all films, it's like the people that extend from that. Because again, all films could end tomorrow, but the people that extend from that, I think, are the ones to look out for. Sorry if I missed the name.
Nah, it's all good. I tell
Fucking
you what, David, give me a list of everybody's handles and we'll drop them in the video.
yeah.
Yeah.
They no cap. They're the ones for real. They're the real ones.
See, and he's a real one for saying, hey, it's not about what we're working on, it's about who I'm working with. Watch out for them.
Yeah.
That's special, man. Dude, I feel like I gotta have you back for a part two.
Hopefully, man.
No, no, we definitely gonna do it, man, because I've had an amazing time talking to you and just you sharing the gems and your wisdom in all of this, man, because I think more so than getting techie or nerdy and talking about the intricacies, and I know you got plenty more stories for days, but to share the wisdom and sharing the message of, hey, look, it's not possible without a team, and just treat your people right, love your neighbors as yourself, and just seeing you act that and me knowing you and seeing you live that out, man, it's been a blessing to have you on and to for you to share your time with me after you've been on set for what, 14 hours.
Yeah, I've been on, yeah, all set. And to add to that, I think, to put out full nuance, like it's what is it? It's 1 a.m. and um much
Yeah.
love to you, bro, for we're supposed to have this at 8 p.m. and allowing me to navigate my feelings of the day and
Hmm.
be in the right state of mind to have just a conversation with you. Thank you for that. Like I at the end, again, the value you give to me is that I needed that conversation.
Yeah,
Um, and thank you.
of course. Yo, one thing I do have to ask before we go: how does David keep his creativity sharp? Like, what inspires you?
Music
Music.
still.
Okay, since you want to go there, you gotta give me your top five artists and your top five albums.
Ooh, fuck. Sorry, am I even this? Okay, top five artists. Okay, I have to go with Incubus, Sean
Okay.
Bellion, um, fuck, damn, Michael Jackson,
Yes, sir.
um, dang, Chris Brown,
Okay.
and then right now ASAP Rocky.
You know what? Yes. Okay, yo, that's a solid five, bro. I
Yeah,
gotta give it up to you. That's a solid five.
that was tough because I was trying to give a broad. I mean, not on purpose a broad, but I have I do like you know I want to just show my. I guess that showed my age a little bit of where I'm at age wise and into now. But ASAP Rocky's new album, fire visually, musically, and then Incubus. Has been a staple lyrically, Brandon Boyd melodically, how long they've been in the industry, and then John Bellion, being able to navigate as a singer songwriter and as a musician himself, showcasing his skills,
Mhm.
and Michael Jackson, obviously, the goat,
Mhm.
and Chris Brown. I think what what's dope about him, like his he is able to be like our Tupac, like you
Yo,
know
Chris Brown is a symbiote. He is like he is Tupac as a symbiote.
for real, man. Like Tupac for I guess the best way is like Tupac could say "Dear Mama" and then and then do another record of like with uh um Bone Thugs. Like Chris Brown is like one of that, so I think
Yeah, no, he is. He
I
is.
those stuck out. Album wise, that's tough. I would I guess my favorite album. I'll just give you my favorite because that's uh Morning View from Incubus, and then damn John. What was John Bellion's Luxury of? Damn, my bad, John Bellion.
You
But
you said it was the one with Luxury?
Yeah. What album was that? That was the first album.
Okay, so what was his first one? Translation Through Speakers. But the one with Luxury was Human.
There we go.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, like I love I mean he, he him telling the story from A to Z of that album was so crazy. And like he could literally tell you, you know, I'm not gonna give you the chorus. I'm just gonna let the sit play.
Met look Luxury. That's one of them ones. Okay, let me ask you this: would you go Luxury or would you go the Hands of God outro?
Oh my god. Hands of God outro.
Oh
Right.
my gosh, because I hadn't seen anybody do that in a while.
Yeah, like and you know what's crazy about that? I don't know if me and you talked about that, but I ran into that later.
Mm.
Like
Oh,
I didn't like you know, you just go back and you listen to it and then you like you play it and you're like, or you just happen to play it and you hear how he's able to mesh everything that he gave you in the beginning of the album
yeah,
into that.
yeah,
And the way that he plays that word of hands of God, like putting, you know, building something up and then giving it to you like that. That's just like, yeah, that's a next level shit. And for him to be okay with saying that and
right,
to be to be to know or to feel comfortable enough to rap with RZA and you know what I mean, like to really spit with real rappers, like that's
right, right. Like I
hard.
mean, bar for bar too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
bar for
dope.
bar. He was giving y'all that work, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and matter of fact, that album with Luxury, that one is called The Definition.
Okay. Okay.
The album with the Hand of God outro is The Human Condition.
Human condition. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Had to.
We,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we love it all. That's why.
We
That's what.
love it like you know what, and we love everything that he's given us throughout the years because I mean, it's that's that music. You feel a part of yourself healing when you listen to John Bellion, man.
Yeah.
I know it does that for me. I'm just wow, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and that. I mean, that's why when you asked me that question of like what's connected, I mean, that's the underlining thing of like, you know, off films. Like at the end, you know, what I inspired to be involved with film is to inspire people uh with music and film, like videography, right? So,
Hmm.
you know, I hope to be that way. Um, so I hope I meet the right people to make that happen.
Yo, and you will, man. It's I think with you selflessly being the conduit in which so many connections are made, it's just bound to happen. And so that's why it is a privilege and an honor that you did the podcast with me. That and just to know you, man, like you've been a solid friend to have in LA.
Hey, appreciate you.
Yeah,
The same way.
yeah. So I mean, dude, I can't wait to have you back for a part two. So this is just the beginning, and just thank you for coming through and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge. Is there well, how can we keep up with you? And is there anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah, I hope. Will this drop before Tapped In or after? Would
This
it
will drop after, yeah, after I tap in.
after? Okay, so I hope. I hope at least within this is that episode 5 or 6 is someone from Tapped In,
Yeah,
and
you
then
know what?
that'd be dope.
Let's talk to Papes. Papes needs to come do the podcast.
Hey, that'd be dope.
Papes need
Hell
to come do the podcast because I definitely want to have Papes on this. You know?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
The prettiest rapper alive,
The
definitely.
prettiest rapper alive. And not only that, man, we spent a good 15 minutes talking about his music video, so he
Yeah,
got to come through that.
he'll tell you how he really felt about it. So
Yeah,
I can't wait for that.
nah, yeah. Papes, come to the come to the
Yeah,
podcast,
he's like, fuck that guy. He made me do certain
man.
shit. Um, for wisdom, I think to go fast, you go alone. To go far, you go together. That's not for me, but that is something that I live by. Something that I will continue to believe in. Yeah. So to go fast, you go alone. To go far, you go together.
Hey, man, and to the top, here we come, y'all. This is the 360 Creative Podcast. Go on to the 360creative.com for merch and just more details. And if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Till next time, we out.